Sit back and get ready to have the most fun you ever had with an electronic device.
All right, everybody, welcome out to the Get On With It Sports Show. It is Wednesday, March the 8th, 2023. Jersey Johnny coming at you with me, as always, is none other than Mr. RadioPete and Mr. Harry Lug Nutz. Say hello, gentlemen.
Hello.
Hi, everybody.
How are you? How are you? How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Wear my sport my throwback, might you say, issue a little bit throwback Denver Nuggets garb. Harry's working away at something feverishly over there.
Yeah.
Compiling statistics, no doubt.
Oh, no doubt whatsoever. So, how are you guys on this fine evening? Fine, heading to get another week closer to spring.
So much closer. Is it really though? What's
a little bit? A couple weeks away now.
Technically, yeah.
Take the 15 days. Yeah.
I'm happy for it to stop snowing. That's
always a good thing. When that happens, that's always a good thing. And of course, every year, hope springs eternal. So, but we'll get to baseball at another time.
I hope that it'll stop snowing eventually. Springs eternal.
Springs eternal, right? Exactly.
Well, out here, spring eternal means that it snows all the time because that's when it snows well into the spring.
Well, this is true.
Do you do any skiing or snowboarding or anything?
No.
Have you ever?
No.
No.
I don't look good in a puffy vest and tight clothing with athletic things on it, and it's really expensive.
Back in school, he never, and even after school, he never came skiing with us. Never came skiing with us.
I never did.
You never did.
It's expensive, and I am bad at sports where my feet are not touching the ground with the high coefficient of friction.
So standing on slippery.
I'm glad you actually added that in there, with the high coefficient of friction. That was very
roller skating, rollerblading, skiing, skateboarding, anything.
Snowboarding.
Never. Just no.
Bike riding?
That's a little different because I bike ride all the time.
Well, there you go. So you're good at it. There's one thing that you are.
Well, most people can ride there's a way higher degree of people who can ride a bike than
can snowboard or ski. Yeah, that's true.
Plus, but I don't have the healthcare or the disposable income to replace a knee, or it's a lifestyle thing. You have to have money and the desire to spend a lot of time in your car, driving on treacherous roads, sitting in horrific traffic, to stand in the cold with a bunch of white people wearing Abercrombie and Fitch, and it does not fucking interest me in the least.
I don't know if that's like the you probably wouldn't be hired to write Aspen's promotional
They don't
slogans.
need me. They don't need me. Now, if you want to meet me down at the lodge or the bar, that's great. But I love Aspen, but I really like it in the summer because I don't have to take my life into my hand driving up there.
That's true.
Yeah.
Very fair enough.
It's great. I'll go see a band at the Belly Up. Just not gonna go skiing.
You know what I wonder though is amongst the younger generations, if the percentage of kids who can ride a bike has dropped precipitously.
You think?
Well, because they just have wheels in their sneakers now. So what do they need to ride a bike for?
Well, that's so 2003 of you.
Well, also, I mean, listen, you got to be honest. I mean, riding bikes, of course, when you were a kid, it's fun, but it was also a necessity. Right, you needed to get someplace, and you
were allowed to do it without your parents. Now I see kids riding their bike, but their parents are with them.
Right, but I'm saying I don't know if that necessity of
I've never seen either.
Get on your bike or whatever.
Have you guys seen
today?
Did you guys ever see either of your parents ride a bike?
No.
No.
I know for a fact that I have never seen any of my parents, nor an aunt or uncle, and I had a number of them, ever ride a bicycle.
Never saw my
Well, I
parents
have
ride.
seen older generations ride bikes. Not
And I can remember anyway. I mean,
I'm saying in my family, I've never seen anybody.
I've never
Right,
seen
so it's
either.
genetic
I've never
with
seen
you.
either of your parents or your aunt or uncle ride a bike either. So.
Well, did your parents ski though?
No.
Saw my father
Really?
ski once. Once. That was it.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean,
big family outing, and he said,
my
"Screw
dad
it."
played softball, and both parents played golf, but that was about it for athletics.
My dad didn't really play golf until later. My mom, I think maybe once I saw her play badminton or something. I can't remember. Not, yeah, but
Not competitively though.
Right.
Well, yeah. I mean, maybe.
So my father played plenty of softball. So my father fight fires too. So I mean, that was
I saw John's father win the snow shuffle toss. Of
yes, you did.
1989.
And I think it was 1986 actually.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, you did. That was a good. He got good loft on that.
He did. Fortunately, he did, or else you wouldn't be sitting here right now.
That's true.
He would. I think his desire was to take your fucking head off.
Right.
He just shanked it a little bit.
I'm glad he could provide you with the entertainment that he did.
Otherwise, yeah, we'd call you'd be Johnny Shovelneck.
That's right.
Be sticking out.
Why do you look like a human plow?
Pretty much. So anyway.
All right, welcome to the sports show, folks.
The sports show. It's hard to grow a beard around a snow shovel sticking out of your neck.
Yeah, it's really difficult, and I almost had to try it.
Anyway.
But
you'll never lose your popcorn at the movie theater.
No, right there. That's perfect. Perfect. Right there, you go. All right. Let's kick it off with just a quickie. What do you think?
All right.
Let's kick it off with just a quickie. On a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being the most excited. All right.
Mm-hmm.
What is your excitement level for this Major League Baseball season? We'll start with RadioPete.
Well, speaking of hope springs eternal, not sure anyone knows that more so than the Met fan, the lifelong disgruntled Met fan.
Mm-hmm.
However, it's always tempered by pessimism.
Metsis disgruntulus, the scientific term.
So I was actually years ago at the radio station up in New Rochelle. I was known as Pete, the disgruntled Met fan.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of excited. Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of new rule changes, so just kind of seeing how they play out is exciting. Whatever. I'll have one eye waiting for the eventual fall, but some good additions to the Mets. So yeah, I'm kind of excited.
So give me a number then.
1 to 10.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go 7.
7. Interesting. All right, fair enough. Harry, yourself?
I'm a 3. Now, having said that, if Josh Donaldson and Gleyber Torres are gone, and the Yankees add another pitcher, and Frankie Montas stays injured the whole year, then that could go up to about a 6 or a 7.
Fair enough. All right, but at the moment it's a 3.
Yeah, look,
Montas.
It's too early. I get excited about May or June when I order the discounted Major League Baseball package.
Yeah.
If you could have Montas be injured all season or Donaldson get injured and stay injured all season, which one would you choose?
Donaldson, without a doubt. Because
Okay.
Donaldson plays every day.
Okay.
Yeah.
He can hurt you much more.
Much more. Myself, if either of you care, I'm actually at a 9.
I was going to say you got to be a 9.
I'm going to tell you why.
Yeah.
Here's what I love about John is that he's the most optimistic person when you're like on this podcast or when you talk to him. But if you were to just see him through the filter of Facebook, he's like the angriest, most pissed off at every. You're going to get so many rage-filled rants about a 6th inning April 9th game.
No. The second opening day, there will be poop emojis posted on Facebook.
I understand that. The opening day thing makes sense. It's the weird, like, Tuesday afternoon game where John Flaydong has posted and you get 9 things and it's just anger and fucking Rojas or whatever the case may be. And
Moose balls.
well, yeah, and it's just, the backup catcher dropped the fly and it's just, Jesus Christ. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Just going to hold it there for the whole
So
show.
a 9.
Yeah.
So, no, I'm at a 9.
Right
I'm
now it's a
tell you
9.
what.
Let me ask this question. Is this an all-time high? Have you ever had a 9 in seasons past?
Maybe. Certainly not last year or several years before, but I'll tell you why I'm at a 9. Obviously, the obvious. Okay, Steve Cohen owns the team. He's spending the money. We have the players we got. We got 6 Cy Youngs in our numbers 1 and 2 starters this year, right? And now, granted, they're 77 years old combined.
They both got their AAP cards.
Combined nearly 80 years of life.
They got the tote bag last year too. Yeah.
But I think
and the nice the sponsorship by Ben Gay.
That's right.
Exactly. Well, you need that, right?
Yeah.
Little
John Hopkins
liniment, right?
Arthroscopic surgery center. Yeah.
So, but in any event,
Ben Gay and Witch Hazel, the 2 new sponsors for the New York Mets.
Ben Gay and reconstructive surgery. Yeah.
Ben Gay and reconstructive surgery. Right? But I'm excited for the team. I want to see what they can do. Continue what they did. Marte. I mean, there's still a couple of question marks there, but he's there, and I'm just excited for the season. That 9 is subject to change, and I'm sure it will be fluid as the weeks and months through the season go through. Fluid, right? But the reason it's not a 10 is because I'm just a little apprehensive about some of these things. I know we've been watching some of them in spring training, but some of these new rules, I just want to see how they play out a little bit. That's why I left it at a 9. I'm not like all in. Let's go baseball. I'm at a 9. I'm good. Let's see what happens. There you go.
You can catch them every Sunday morning on their show, The Disillusioned and Disgruntled Mets Fans.
There you go. We'll be doing that at 9 a.m. Eastern time every Sunday morning, right after opening.
The name of the show is Here We Go Again.
Here we go again.
Right after the Uncle Floyd.
Uncle Floyd's our first guest.
That's right.
So anyway, all right, cool. That works for me. Let's jump it right into our rapid fire quiz. Huh?
Rapid fire. Huh?
I mean, it's not so rapid fire as we all know. It's kind of a wink, wink kind of thing, but we've changed it up a little bit.
It sounds better. Rapid fire quiz sounds better than sluggish, sloth-like quiz.
Exactly.
It's a bit of a misnomer, but still.
But still, we
exciting nonetheless.
We enjoy doing it. So
riveting.
It's very
riveting rapid fire quiz.
So there we go. We got our music on, and there we go. It's the NBA history rapid fire quiz. Now we did it a little differently. If you remember, a couple weeks ago, we had Pete. It's 3 questions each, not 6 anymore, because that takes a little too long. But we had Pete do all of his, and then Harry did all of his. So we're gonna kick it off here right now with Pete. Ready?
I'm ready.
Are you ready, Pete?
I'm ready.
Here we go. All right. Here we go. Pete's first question. Pete, I need you to name for me one of the 3 recording artists that recorded a song with Shaq.
Oh.
Chad Pennington. Oh, wait, this is the NBA quiz?
This is the NBA quiz, right?
That recorded a song with Shaq?
One of the 3 recording artists that recorded a song with Shaq. It's not that hard a question. There's 3.
Well, you see,
you probably take a guess and get one. So
you say it's not that hard a question, but it is. Because why would I know that? Let's see. Was it Peaches and Shaq? No. Shaq and Herb? Nope.
Shaq and Herb.
Or Herb. It wasn't Herb. Peaches and Herb. Shaq and Herb. That would have.
Peaches and Herb. Yeah.
Peaches and Herb. Jesus, I don't know.
Shaq and Herb.
Shaq. Who did Shaq record his? I don't know. Puff Daddy.
Ooh, good guess. Good guess, bro.
Okay.
All right.
Harry for the steal.
Harry for the steal.
I have to name all 3 of them?
No, just one. One of the 3.
I want to say he did one with the Notorious B.I.G.
He did. That is one of them. So he did Notorious B.I.G.
I'm trying to think of a second one, and I think he did one with
All right, just say them, John. You didn't need to.
Rakim, and that's all I know.
Rakim, no, he didn't do it with Rakim.
He didn't do it with Rakim. Okay.
No. Notorious B.I.G., Jay-Z, and Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson. So, all right, there we go. Let's move on to Pete's second question. Ready?
Yeah.
All right, Pete. I'm gonna throw you a beach ball. Who is the NBA's all-time leading scorer?
Who is or who was?
Was. Is.
Well, what?
Is.
Was. There's a lot of answers to that question.
Is. Who is the NBA's all-time leading scorer?
All right, I'll say Rakim.
Rakim Raul.
I'll say the greatest of all time, LeBron James.
There you go. All right, you had to get one. So.
Jesus Christ.
This is what we've devolved to. Peter, what is the first letter of your first name?
Rakim. There you go.
I'll take the anal rapist.
Anal rapist. Oh, we've definitely digressed here. Okay, Pete, your number 3 question. Here we go. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. Back to a Shaq question for you. How many 3-pointers did Shaq make in his entire career?
I think I know this.
Oh, man. Well, it's not something that I ever remember like seeing the highlight of or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm tempted to say 0. You'd think at some point he would have. No, I don't know. I'll say 0.
0.
No, you know what? I'll say 1.
I want that to be under review. John gave it away, and then you changed your mind.
All
right, I'll say half.
There you go.
What is that? 1.5 points?
1.5. You're going with 0, half, or 1?
I'll go with. I'm going to go with 1. I'm going to make Harry earn his victory.
No, 1 is right.
1 is right. He made one 3-pointer. You got it. All right. So there we go. All right. Moving on to Harry's questions. Ready? Harry, question number 1 for you. In what year was the NBA founded?
Jesus Christ. What year was the NBA founded? Who is the all-time leading scorer in NBA history? Who led the NBA in assists in 1953?
You realize you only have to get one of your 3 to tie, Pete.
I think I know this. I think I know the answer. Here, it's late 40s, I think. I'm gonna 46 or 47. 46 or 47. One of those 2 years. 46.
You know what? Give them both because I cheated on the last question. So
Hey,
I think it was either 46 or 47.
So which one did you pick?
I'll go with 46. I don't know.
He doesn't need both. It's 1946. He got
okay.
it. There you go. All right.
By the way, out of the 3 guys that did songs with Shaq,
right,
one is the king of pop.
The other one's Jay-Z.
Arguably the most popular music artist in the history of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Or 2 is Jay-Z.
Mm-hmm.
Amongst the top 3 biggest rap artists in the history. You got, not that he's small potatoes by any stretch, you got Biggie Smalls.
Because that's the only one I remember. Because I honestly didn't know he did a song with Michael Jackson.
I know, but I'm saying you knew of those 3 guys, the most obscure one.
If it's obscure, I'll know it. If it's pop culture, I don't.
Yeah. All right.
That's unfortunately the way
And
my
then
mind
you
works.
NBA started at 46.
Right.
Oh, I think I deserve a
Actually, well, to be quite honest with you, I will let you know this. When I wrote that question, I actually wrote that question because I knew that. So it's like, it was something that was knowledge. But again, obscure crap is my middle name.
All right.
So, anyway.
Needs one to win.
All right. Here we go.
Oh,
Harry.
I already got one. I got two already.
No,
You're tied.
You're tied.
Oh, 2-2?
2-2.
Yeah.
Here we go. All right. So, question number 2 for you, Harry. Here we go. Who holds the record for most free throws made in a row?
Ooh. Player? We're talking an individual player, right?
Individual player. What individual player holds the record for most free throws made in a row?
What was his name? Short Shot from the movie? State Pittsburgh, right? Well, you know it's not Shaq.
It's an obscure player, and I'm trying to remember his name. I do think at one point Mahmoud Abdul Rauf held the record.
That was the name that came to my mind, so that's wrong.
I think. Was it another Nugget? Was it another Denver Nugget that holds the record? The only two names that are coming to mind are Dirk Nowitzki and Mahmoud Abdul Rauf.
Mm-hmm. That would be wrong. That would be wrong.
Michael Redd. Michael Redd? No.
Radio Pete for the steal.
Wait. Well, who did you say?
I said Dirk Nowitzki because I think I want to say he did it. He had a streak more recently. But so is that what you're counting as wrong? Dirk Nowitzki, John? Or Mahmoud Abdul Rauf or both?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I need to know which one you picked.
It sounds like both are wrong. So pick something other than those two.
Okay. Oh, great. All right. Well, Rauf is the name that came to mind. So I'll say ooh. I'll say Michael Johnson. I don't even know who that is. I'll say
Michael Jackson.
Who would have made a lot of free throws in a row?
I was just double checking something, but yes, it was. I'm sorry, I was a little remiss in answering your question. I hope I answered it right. All of what Harry said was wrong.
Pete said Michael Johnson.
Michael Johnson.
Was that your answer?
Sure, why not? I have nothing. I have no idea. Without Rauf, I have no clue.
All right. So
yeah.
All right, Michael Johnson. That would be wrong too. Right. Ironically, so you both got it wrong. So now, ironically, you said Michael Johnson, and Harry said Michael Ray. Threw Michael Ray in there, which is wrong.
Michael Red.
Michael Red, rather. Red.
Yeah, that's a good guess.
Right. But you both, with those guesses, got the first name right. This isn't anybody's point, obviously.
Michael Williams.
Very good.
Who did he play for? The
Minnesota. In 93, he hit 97 consecutive free throws.
Wasn't that the well, maybe not. Well, it was either 93 or 94 when Mahmoud Abdul Rauf had
Mahmoud Abdul Rauf had 81.
81, okay.
81. Dirk Nowitzki had 82.
Okay, so I remembered him beating that record.
Jose Calderon had 87, and from March 24th, 93 to November 9th, 93. Across 2 seasons, Michael Williams hit 97, but he hit 84 in the previous season. Like he hit 84 before the season ended.
Yeah.
And
So
then
Calderon was the most recent to get close to it.
Right.
Right. Michael Williams. I do remember. I don't know why I was thinking Michael Red.
Mm-hmm.
Same kind of player.
There
Milwaukee, Minnesota. Yeah.
There you go. So, all right. There you go. All right, cool. That brings us to your third and final question, Harry. Ready?
Oh, God.
In NBA history,
yes.
How many times have there been quadruple doubles?
Oh, who's done them or how many?
How many? I mean, if you want to rattle off names, by all means, have at it.
Yeah, I don't know if I can rattle off all 4. I think it was 4.
I think it was 4.
Yes.
Okay. So your answer is 4 because
My answer is 4.
You would be correct. It's 4.
Now, I think
it's like you're like I don't know if I can rattle off all 4. I'm like, well, there you go. You just answered your question.
Yeah, I knew it was 4 because it was quadruple. I'm gonna say Westbrook, Wilt.
I'll stop you
David
right there.
Robinson and Hakeem. I don't know.
All right. You were so confident with Westbrook and Wilt, and you were like a little touchy on David Robinson and Hakeem. David Robinson and Hakeem are correct. Wilt and Wilt
never had a quadruple double. That's interesting. Okay. Mm-hmm. Who was the other 2?
Alvin Robertson.
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 Okay.
Alvin Robertson.
For the Spurs too, right? Didn't he?
And Nate Thurman in 74.
Nate Thurman played for the Rockets as well.
Did he?
I don't know.
Maybe. I remember the player. I don't remember the
Atlanta
team.
Hawks, maybe.
Maybe the Hawks. Yeah, actually. Nate Thurman in 74. Alvin Robertson in 86. Hakeem did it in 1990, and David Robinson did it in 94.
Thurman played for the Warriors.
Hawks. It was, yeah.
Who played for the Warriors? Robertson?
Thurman.
Now, one of them, and I'm guessing it's Alvin Robertson, probably did it with points, rebounds, assists, and steals, where the other 3 probably did it points, rebounds, assists, and blocks.
Yeah. Robertson had 20, 11, 10, and 10.
Blocks.
10 steal.
Did the other 3 have blocks? Is that where they got the...
Thurman was 22, 14, 13 assists, 12 blocks.
Nice. That's a good day. This was back when they used to play defense.
Right. Olajuwon, 18, 16. Oh, no. Olajuwon. Points, rebounds, 18, 16, 10 assists, and 11 blocks.
Yeah. So it wasn't steals, it was blocks.
No. Yeah.
So Alvin Robertson's the only one that had the steals.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then the Admiral, 34 points, then 10, 10, and 10.
Blocks.
Who was the big white stiff from Utah who used to average like 8 blocks a game?
Sean Bradley?
No. Bigger. He's like
Bigger
Mark.
Said big white stiff. Sean Bradley automatically comes to mind.
Bigger, whiter, and stiffer.
Kaminsky?
Mark Eaton.
Mark Eaton. Big white stiff. Sean Bradley.
Bradley, not stiff enough.
There you go.
Definitely not.
Anyway, all right. There you go. Harry edged him out 3-2. Very close this week. Very close.
And that was because I cheated.
Who's the all-time leader of points scored?
What does the NBA use as the
what color is the NBA's basketball?
How many 3-pointers did Shaq have? 1 or 0?
What color is a red fire truck?
And I got it wrong.
Who's buried in Grant's tomb? It's a trick question.
What color is the fire truck, which is also the color of your shirt?
Yeah.
Yellow.
That was actually on Family Guy once. They were playing a game, and Lois says, "What color is a red fire truck?" And Pete's like, "Fire trucks, fire trucks, fire trucks." Oh, what color are those red fire trucks? I could see them; they're all red and everything. So, anyway, all right, good one. I like that. I hope you did too.
Michael Williams. By the way, real quickly,
that was my like favorite question of the night.
I was just happy I got his first name right.
Mahmoud, there's a great documentary.
I think it should be 3.5 to 2.5. I think we should each get half a point.
There you go.
Yeah. Michael Red was pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
There's a great documentary on Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf called Stand. I saw it on Showtime. I think you can get it on most streaming things now. Really interesting. I mean, for people who don't remember, Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf was kind of the original Colin Kaepernick.
Yep.
When he converted to Islam and had issues with the national anthem and refused to stand, really wasn't an issue. Nobody really even noticed it until Joe Williams, a local blowhard here in Denver on Drive Time Radio, took issue with it, and then it became a national thing. He actually compromised and stood and prayed during the national anthem, but he was basically run out of the NBA. And he was a great player, Rauf. Chris Jackson was his name in college. A good Nuggets team, and the documentary is really well done. I think it's worth looking at, and they have everybody from Shaq and Jalen Rose on there, and a bunch of other people. But we tend to look back on today's events. These things existed once before, and it was unfortunate, I think. And look, I was a big fan of David Stern. I think he was a great commissioner for the basketball. But I think the NBA, the Nuggets, Bernie Bickerstaff, and a lot of his Nuggets teammates, they kind of dropped the ball on this one. He's an interesting story. I mean, he was treated really poorly. His house was burned down. I mean, he was to the point he was broke. He went broke. He could not get one of the best shooters in the NBA. Could not get on a team. Went to Europe for a while. Came back. He's now coaching. He works with kids. He's a motivational speaker. Really smart guy. And I always thought, remembering back on that, it was the early years of me moving here to Denver. I always thought that he handled himself impeccably. And it was sad. It was sad to see it happen. Good documentary. And it's an interesting, I think, it's an interesting insight into history repeating itself.
Yeah, that's for sure. All right. Yeah, well, what was the name of it? Score?
Stand.
See, from the standpoint of the media reaction and coverage,
right?
And how it was, more quickly resolved compared to the way these things drag on and on today.
Yeah, we didn't have social media, so the people that were supporting him didn't have a voice. It was just the kind of a singular stand of the media and the NBA. Like, hey, this is a problem. We want to get rid of this problem.
Yeah. All right. That brings us to this week's. Not that he's an underrated player, but our list this week is top 5 most underrated NBA players currently. Top 5 most underrated NBA players currently.
Or top 5 most underrated current NBA players.
Well, that's the way I wrote it. So if you want to say it that way, I'll have to do this.
It's okay. You can put it any way you want.
Hold on. There we go. How's that? Top 5 most underrated current NBA players.
I like it.
There you go.
I like that we are still on the baseball diamond.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Jimmy's got to get on changing that up to the.
Jimmy, come on, change that shit up. Come on, Jimmy.
Wait, we just.
There you go, Jimmy. Thank you.
Jimmy. Didn't just do our MLB rapid fire quiz.
No, we didn't. Top 5 most underrated current NBA players. Harry, why don't you kick us off?
Well, my number 5 is Jaren Jackson of Memphis. Memphis, a great team, obviously a great story, and we all know about Ja Morant. But Jaren Jackson's a great player, and I think underrated. My number 4 is Domantas Sabonis from Sacramento. My number 3 is Darren Fox from Sacramento. Sacramento, I think, is going to be a team that's going to make some noise in the playoffs. Not very many people following, and I think these two guys are having spectacular years. Lauri Markkanen from Utah is my number 2, and my number 1's a name that everybody knows, but I still think he is the most underrated player in the NBA today, and that is Damian Lillard of the Portland Trailblazers. Why do I think Damian Lillard is underrated? Well, I think that he's doing things. He's averaging, close to 33, 34 points a game, just scored 70 points. He plays in Portland, and a lot of these smaller West Coast cities, they just don't get the notoriety or the coverage. I also think he's a guy who's been playing in Portland, is going to stay in Portland, and is just putting up some incredible numbers. And the Trailblazers are not that bad of a team record-wise. And if it wasn't for him, they'd be down there with one of the worst teams in the league. I would love to see Lillard get a proper supporting cast around him. I think he had it for a while there, seemed to disintegrate, but for as big a superstar as he is, I don't hear his name talked about very often. And I think he's underrated. But those other guys are truly underrated. And I think some of them are going to be guys you're going to see here in the playoffs, and their profiles are definitely going to be raised.
Yeah, I can't argue with any of those, really. So, all right, Pete.
Yeah, I'm not sure about my ranking. I didn't rank guys. I just kind of looked.
That's fine.
5 players. 3 of them are the same. I also have Jackson and Markkanen and Sabonis, for all of the aforementioned reasons. I also have Jacob Poeltl from Toronto.
Good one.
12 points and 9 rebounds, 3 assists, and a little over a block per game. Big man is kind of one drawback. He's terrible from the foul line, but it's Toronto. But I think he's toiling away and putting up some good numbers and not getting a whole lot of press. And I did a little bit of homerism from the Brooklyn Nets, Michael Bridges, who has only played a handful of games with the Nets, but 17, 4.5, 3.5, and a little over a steal, and shoots about 40% from 3-point range.
Yeah,
and
same,
the Nets.
Same thing with Poeltl. I mean, he was kind of in obscurity with the Spurs, and then went to the Raptors
went somewhere and got a little bit more of an opportunity to play. And look, the Nets are not good, but they lost, arguably the best player in the game, or certainly one of the best, 2 of the best players in the game. Honestly,
I think Bridges is a great player, and I think he's going to become the star of the Nets.
Yeah, I think he certainly has the potential to blossom, and I hope they keep him around. And a bright spot. Look, the Nets are not dismal yet, but that's only because it's only been a limited amount of time since the trade.
Yeah,
so it's it's not going to get better. Well, it might get a little better for them, but we'll see how things shake out for them. But I think they've got a good one and a guy that they can be a building block in Bridges. So those are my 5.
All right. I'll rattle mine off because 4 of them are the same as yours, or Harry's and yours. I'll start off by saying that the only one it's not is a little homerism or whatever. And I had him a couple weeks ago as one of the best players, but certainly underrated. Hello?
What was that?
It was my phone.
Oh, okay. I thought we had a cart. I was like, did I hit something? No. Anyway, how old am I? Cart. Anyway, yeah, Jalen Brunson. I think he's underrated. And I said it, I had him on my top 5 players as a.
I was thinking about him for my list too.
Jalen Brunson definitely underrated. And then I'm saying I got three of yours. I'm sorry, not two. Drew Holiday underrated. I mean, Giannis, right? But Drew Holiday's playing some good ball.
And he stepped up this year with Chris Middleton being out so much. Without a doubt.
Absolutely. Definitely. So he's definitely underrated. And then my three was Jaren Jackson, who was my 3. Sabonis is my number 2, and Dame is my number 1.
The other guy that I could very easily have on this list is Tyrese Halliburton. He actually left the Kings, went to Indiana. He's putting up some really good numbers with Indiana. Obviously the Kings have gotten better without him due to the trades they were able to make. But he's having a hell of a year, and he's one of those guys who I think you're going to see him bounce around a little bit more. But he could be a big part of a team that needs.
He could be that last
missing piece. Yep.
Yeah, that last piece that gets you a championship.
Yep.
He kind of reminds me a little bit of what Paul George was when he was playing with Indiana. They sort of have I don't know. He just seems to quietly put up very good numbers, and I don't know. I think he's gonna. Obviously he was a top 20 pick. It's not like he was that obscure, but I feel like his name is not mentioned very much. Brunson, he's underrated. He's having a good year, but he's a pretty big name. He was even a big name when he was in Dallas. But Halliburton sort of has, I think, even gone deeper into the abyss. But yeah, all of these people that we've named here are, pretty good players.
Yeah, they are. They all are. Certainly. All right.
Yeah, there we go.
Well, there you go. We'll have it. All right. No old balls tonight, correct? Or do you have one, sir?
There's no underrated old balls in there.
There's no underrated old balls.
If you're worth mentioning as
if I had to pick an underrated person in the NBA, I would nominate Michael Malone, the coach of the Nuggets. I think he's done an exceptional job this year. Look, the Nuggets have a great player in Jokic. They've had, for a good part of the year, they've had some, Murray and Michael Porter Jr. back. Very few games with all of them playing due to injuries still. He's done a really good job of getting these new pieces to play better. I think he's done a hell of a job getting Aaron Gordon to play a big role by kind of switching around some of the defensive schemes a little bit. Gotcha. And look, I think he needs to be talked about for Coach of the Year for sure. But very few people could tell you the coach of the Denver Nuggets. That's for sure.
That's for sure. All right. Well, just because I feel like it. There you go.
Not so old, but older than Tyrese Halliburton.
This is true. Yeah. All right. All right. That brings us to let's do the you want to do the over under last? Do you want to do your
let's do the over under last.
Let's do the over under last, So Pete's Oddities. Or what do we call the section?
My life. All right, well,
I didn't say Pete's Odd. I said Pete's Oddities.
Pete's Oddity Theater.
Yeah. They go together, I guess. You can't have one without the other.
Goes together like pickleball and
pickle salad.
Football is a year-round game. The NFL has made itself into a year-round stuff, right? We got the combine going on right now and all that jazz. Quick question, yes or no? Is the combine does it really an indicator of who's going to be good in the NFL or not?
I think they do lean pretty heavily on it, and I think the combine.
But is it an accurate predictor?
I think it is. Not necessarily. I think it helps answer some questions. In other words, if somebody, they just don't have enough to say, okay, hey, this person's where are they right now prior to the draft? And if they're saying, hey, I saw a couple games where I was a little concerned about their lateral movement or their speed or their strength, it at least gives them a little bit of an opportunity to see where they're at right now. And there's a lot of people that do want to see where somebody's at that point. I would imagine it's probably a little bit of a better predictor for receivers and quarterbacks and things like that and running backs. But a lot of times too, guys can excel at the combine and raise their profile a little bit, and maybe show some improvement based on, the last half year or so of their training.
John?
I think it is in certain applications. Clearly, there's a ton of game film, right? Clearly, they're not going in and just looking at people with fresh eyes the first time ever, right? So there's tons of game film on the college level. I think I think if they have any questions, kind of to what Harry was saying, if there's any questions about certain specific, talents or tasks or whatever to be performed, that's the place to try and answer those questions. And when it comes down to actual gameplay, I don't think they're looking, at least my opinion is, I don't think they're looking at the combine to give them everything they need to decide on what a player is going to be like. That comes from watching them play. That comes from all the game film they have. But if when it comes to certain finishing touches, if you will,
they grade them.
They grade them, yeah. So to answer your question with that ramble, I don't think it's an accurate predictor, but I think it helps accurately predict them, if you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? It's not.
That sounds like an NFL coach answer.
That sounds exactly. It sounds exactly like what.
Yeah, that's a Josh McDaniel right there.
Josh McDaniel, right? No, it's Mike McDaniel.
Mike McDaniel, yeah, that's
Mike McDaniel. Yeah, I don't think the combine itself is an accurate predictor, but it helps them predict what it assists their predictions of what the player is going to be. It's an assistant. It's more of an assistant than a predictor.
Okay,
is that a little bit clearer?
Sure. Yeah, I think it probably helps them more mentally than physically, right? To get talking with the players and the Wonderlic test and all that stuff. It's become more about that aspect of it, I think, than the physical. Today I heard Paul Brown was the kind of the inventor, if you will, or
I thought you heard Paul Brown speak today. I was like, what?
Of the 40-yard dash.
Right.
Somebody said, well, he's the guy who said, well, this is something we're going to test. And they were like, well, who is that supposed to test? And it was for kickoffs, because they're like, when do you run 40 yards? And they're, well, on the kickoff or a punt. So that's really all it was. I can't figure out if any of those things that they do, like, who cares how high somebody can jump from a standstill? What does that have to do with playing football? Like, okay, maybe you put that guy on the line to try and block a field goal or something, but it's going to have to be a long field goal, which you're trying to kick low for anybody to get close to blocking it by simply jumping up.
I think it's
40-yard dash. When do you run 40 yards with your head down? You can't even say it's for a receiver. Yeah, it shows how fast they are, but you're not as fast when you're looking back. I don't know. I think it's more of them looking at their athleticism at that point. Not so much. Not so much what they're going to do as players on the field. Those questions have already been answered in all the game film and games. The scouts have gone out and looked at them. If you're even invited there, then I don't know.
Sure, yeah, but somebody's going to pick you up. More than likely, you're getting drafted, but it's where you're getting drafted, who's going to pick you up. And again, does somebody want somebody that looked good on paper again the games that they were playing, but it could have just been those matchups that day. Who they were not just the team, but who they were matched up against on the other team. So in the game film they watch, so they can check out their athleticism too, and see where they rank, and then put it all together. Put it in a calculator, total it up, and figure out what they got. That kind of thing.
To that point, real quick, 2022 combine, 2022 last year's combine results. This is what they had as the winners and losers. Okay, winner at quarterback Desmond Ridder, Cincinnati. Loser Kenny Pickett, Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
Do your
which one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Running back winner, Breece Hall, Iowa State. Loser, Kyron Williams, Notre Dame. Okay.
So that worked out.
Yeah. Winner, wide receiver, Christian Watson, North Dakota State. Loser, Tyrell Burks, Arkansas. Here are the honorable mentions. Sky Moore, great name, Western Michigan, Calvin Austin, Memphis, Kevin Austin Jr., Notre Dame, and Tyquan Thornton. Okay.
That's a pretty good name, too.
Sky Morris, he's on the Chiefs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, tight end, Greg Dulwich, UCLA was a winner. Cole Turner, Nevada, so I don't know. It's
all right,
a lot of these players are rookies.
Let's look at those names, like, let's say in 2 or 3 years,
right,
and see where they are. But
yeah.
I mean, listen, you've got guys like Julian Edelman and like Tyreek Hill who weren't even invited to the combine, and then right. I think I heard today like the 2 greatest combine performances are guys that never played it down or something like that.
Sure. Yeah, I didn't need to know that Trayvon Walker was going to be good in the combine to know that he was going to be. The other guys that did well were Aiden Hutchinson, and I mean it's just.
I think it's more about the mental for the team, for most teams. But again, the NFL is great at taking everything they do and making it a spectacle and a national event.
Especially in the end of February, beginning of March, when nothing is going on.
Pitchers and catchers.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing else is going on.
Playoffs of anything else. All right, real quick. The Rules Committee, of course, for the NFL meeting around this time. A lot of talk about the X and 1, the push play, which Philadelphia has perfected, and it is nearly flawless, and it works every single time. When the NFL doesn't like that, so will they get rid of it? Yes or no?
Yes.
So next season, no more push play.
Nope.
So they go back to the rules where you remember you used to not be able to do that.
Yeah,
you couldn't push the guy from behind, and of course you still can't pull him. What's the big difference? You can push him now, but you can't pull the guy with the ball. Like that's exactly. that is too much. You can't. So Harry, yes or no? Will the no fun league kill the play by next season and say you can't do it anymore, or will they give maybe another year or 2 to see if other teams start to adopt it or figure out a way to stop it?
I don't know why it seems to be such a big thorn in people's sides. I don't know. It's something I don't care about, so probably they'll get rid of it.
You're right.
Which
we got on that note, there's 2 things to that point really quick. One, a lot of the officials too, and it's not just Philly, right? It's a lot of other teams that Philly's perfected it, but a lot of teams have done it, right? Yeah. Giants have certainly done it. They've pushed Daniel Jones through the pile, right? But it depends on when
keep pushing them.
Yeah, well, whatever. But what you call it?
All the way to Las Vegas.
Right.
push him at least to Patterson.
But in any event,
Carolina.
My point being, it depends. Like I've watched plays where as soon as the momentum was stopped, like the instant momentum was stopped, the first time, the whistles were blown.
They blow the whistle, yeah.
Right. And I saw, and this is specifically speaking of Philly, because Philly did it more often than anyone else, right? And we obviously on a national level, and we watched everything like in the playoffs. I saw Jalen Hurts get stopped once or twice. Momentum, right? And they were still moving and went further and went further and went further. But it was like momentum was stopped. And then a little bit more momentum was stopped. And then a little bit more momentum was stopped. And then they blew the whistle. So pick when does the whistle get blown? Like, honestly, if you don't blow the whistle, he could probably gain 6 yards. You know what I mean? So when does that I think is the biggest issue with that play, because there's not a lot of consistency in when the play is done.
When blow the whistle.
Exactly. And furthermore, if it's not blown right away, okay, you're the whistle, that is. It's not blown right away. Teams could literally play their entire game doing that. You know, getting 3 yards.
That's
first down.
That's one of the arguments against it.
Oh,
it's turning into rugby, but that's not going to happen. You know, it's not.
Right. No, I know it won't. But yeah. So the
all right.
Yeah,
so you say
I'd say it's
going to get rid of it. I think they're going to keep it around for another year and see if other teams get better at it or if somebody figures out a way to stop it. So,
gotcha.
I mean, look, there's 2 sides of the argument. One is like, it's sort of like it should be stopped because they say, well, they found a loophole, right? And the definition of a loophole is you're figuring out a way to do something that they don't want you to do, right? And so that loophole should be closed. the other argument on the other side of the fence is, listen, this is what football is all about. Your line, my line, who's stronger? You push us, you get the first down. We push you, you don't get the first down.
Right.
So, anyway, I think it's going to be around for another year. And then if nobody else can do it like Philly and it still kind of remains the way it is this past season, then I think they'll kill it.
Gotcha.
I think they should keep it, but they have to do it with either a punter or a place kicker.
So they can't give the ball to the quarterback?
No.
Or maybe they put the kicking team behind the quarterback. They're the guys pushing them.
That's right.
That's
All right. Let's move from the NFL to the XFL.
Oh, God.
I don't know if you guys I haven't watched a down of it. I have a friend, John. I love him, a guy I used to work with.
There's nobody in the stands, by the way.
He's very into the XFL. He's posting all the time on. The only reason I know anything that's going on, he posts on Facebook. But the XFL has some kind of cool rules, and we'll just kind of talk about a few of them and see maybe if you think the NFL should consider adopting them.
Mm-hmm.
So first up, let's talk about the tiered extra point system. No kicks on an extra point in the XFL, right?
Okay.
You've got it's basically a 2-point conversion. If you go from, I don't know what is the scale here. Let me see. If you go from like 2 yards, you get one, and you get in, you get 1 point. If it's 5 yards and you get in, you get 2 points. If it's 10 yards, you get 3 points.
Yep. 2 yards, 1 point, 5 yard 2, 10 yard 3. Yeah.
Now, conversely, if the defense gets the ball and runs it into the other end zone, they get the same number of points. So you go for a 3 and they get the running back. So, but no kicking extra points. Should the NFL, which is obviously moving in that direction by allowing the 2-point play, which is becoming more popular, but again, almost always being used at the wrong time, which is not when you really need it, but when they think coaches think they can outsmart themselves. Should the NFL kind of look? Should they change their system, or it's a kick, or it's a 2 and that's it?
Kick or 2?
I don't think so. I think kick or 2. I think it's a gimmick, which is fine for the XFL. Obviously, they're going to need a couple gimmicks, right, to get people to watch. So, but I don't think that's something that's sustainable. I don't think that people are going to like that. Nobody's going to line up. Nobody's lining up on a 10-yard in the NFL. Nobody's lining up in the NFL except at the end of the game when they may need 3 points, right? That's a different story. So it's like a one-time deal towards the end of the game in specific situations where it's necessary, right? They're going to lose if they don't go for it with that. You know what I mean? But other than that, no team, other than those instances, no team's putting that extra points. There no team's giving up the 1 point or even the 2 points to try and go for 3 points from the 10-yard line. It's never going to happen. And if they change it, they have a 2-point play from the 2-yard line. Now they're 2-point plays from the 5-yard line.
Yeah, and the kicks and the extra points are not as much of a given as they were for many, many years. We've obviously
which is why they moved it back to
that's just the thing. They moved it back to make it more challenging because it was a given. So all right. So you say no, I say yes. I think they should. I like it. All right. Game timing, 35-second play clock rather than 40. Clock continues to run on incomplete passes and out-of-bounds plays prior to the 2-minute warning in each half. And the game clock stops on first downs following the 2-minute warning. This is to potentially keep the game moving. Like if you throw a bunch of incomplete passes, the clock doesn't stop. It keeps running at least before the 2-minute warning. And if you're getting first downs, you don't have to. You can make a 40-yard play, and you don't have to run up and spike the ball because the clock will stop. So you make the 2-minute offense more exciting. So NFL adopt or keep it the way it is now, which tends to make games drag.
I don't think games drag. I think with the XFL, you probably want to get the game over with because.
Well, these are all designed to create more offensive plays.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's way too fucking easy right now in the NFL to score at the end of the game. I do not want to make it any easier. I like the rules where they're at right now. Spike the ball, use it down, use the clock. I don't need I like that
rule better than the extra points rule, but I don't think the NFL is still ready. I'm going to say this. I don't think the NFL is still ready or is ready to adopt it yet. You know what I'm saying?
It's going to make people throw the ball more, because if you throw the ball and the clock doesn't stop, then it's the same as a running play.
Mm-hmm.
If you have an incompletion and the clock keeps running. So no, I like the NFL. I'm more of a purist when it comes to this stuff. Just stop fucking around with everything and leave it alone.
Mm-hmm.
Just leave it alone. The NFL games are not too long to me. They're not too long.
Baseball games weren't too long to me either. So I don't need my I mean, you know, I know I don't want a marathon 5-hour game because things went down or whatever, anything like that, or for it. But 3 hours fine with me. It doesn't need to be 2.5.
Less challenges and less reviews. I'd be fine with that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah, I kind of like the idea of the clock stopping in the final 2 minutes after you get a first down. You get a little bit of a reward for that.
No, I mean that just totally changes everything.
Yeah, that's why I like it. All right.
I can't stand it. There's so many games where all you need is 12 seconds left to be able to. It's too easy. I don't know why it is. It bugs the shit out of me. Can't stand it.
All right.
Run the fucking clock. Get the game over with.
All right. Replay. XFL using a centralized replay system. All plays subject to review by the replay official. Coaches get one challenge during the game. Coaches are allowed to challenge calls involving a foul or potential foul. And there's just about nothing that is not reviewable.
I'm so sick of all the reviews.
I will tell you this, and I've said this for years. I don't understand why certain things aren't reviewable. And I'm going to tell you what I mean by that. All right. The coaches get 2 challenges per game. They get a third if they get both of their first 2 right.
It's 2. Is it per game or per half? One per half?
Per game.
Per game. Okay. So
game.
You can carry over. Okay. I didn't know that. I thought it was 1 per half.
2 per game.
Okay.
2 per game. And if they get both of them, if they use both of them and they wind up being both right, they get a third. That's it. They don't get a fourth if they get a third right. It stops at 3. All right. Why can't you challenge anything? Because
in the XFL you can.
But that's my point. I don't understand why certain things aren't reviewable, because it doesn't look of the things that are reviewable. Both coaches on each game could get a potential 4 or 5 or 6 challenges during the game together between them, right? If you let everything be challenged, they still only get those same 4, 5, or 6. It's not like all of a sudden there's all these challenges. It's still the same amount. So why can't something like
here's the thing.
roughing the passer is not reviewable? Okay, so why it's not reviewable? He obviously didn't rough him, or he did rough him and they didn't throw the flag.
All right, but in the XFL, it is reviewable.
Okay.
Calls involving a foul or potential foul are reviewable, but again, the coaches only get 1 challenge per game, and replay is allowed to correct errors on non-reviewable plays, player safety at any point during the game, and any issue in the last 5 minutes of regulation plus overtime, designed to get it right.
Right. I'm fine with if you're going to give the coaches the challenges. If you take them away, if the NFL says, hey, no more challenges, which I think would be stupid and they wouldn't do that. But if they did that, well, that's whatever. But if the coaches have their challenges, I don't see any reason why everything can't be reviewable. Tell me why a pass interference call, a roughing the passer call, or anything that isn't reviewable. Tell me why it can't be reviewed. What's the reason behind that?
Yeah,
that's what I don't know.
Yeah, I'm with you. I say 1 per half, and you could review whatever the fuck you want. Stop calling ticky-tacky holding penalties, and let the referees use some judgment. I don't want the whole game reviewed.
All right, there we go. All right, touchbacks. The XFL actually attempting to encourage returns on punts and potentially kickoffs too. So a touchback and a punt comes out to the 35-yard line. Same thing if it goes out of bounds inside the 35-yard line. So kicking it down into the corner and bouncing out at the 1, nope.
No, that's
it
dumb.
Brings it back to the 35. So you either kick it to a guy or
Nah.
it comes out to the 30.
That's why you have a good punter. It's to get it. That's why you punt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't agree with that one.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
Yeah,
well, now before you do that, let me find the other one here. Okay, now this one is the weirdest of all of these so far, but kickoff rules.
4th and 15.
No, that's the next one. We'll get to that. You know what? Let's do that one first. All right. So the kickoff rule, or the 4th and 15, after you score, instead of trying an onside kick, which works 4% of the time in the NFL and is pretty anticlimactic, instead of that, after you score in the XFL, you have an opportunity to attempt a 4th and 15 from your own 25-yard line. If you get it, you get to keep the ball. If you don't get it, the other team gets the ball at your 25-yard line.
Fuck no.
Well, if it's used like, if you're going to kick an onside kick, it's the end of the game.
In lieu of an onside kick.
In lieu of an onside kick, yeah.
No,
so
I don't like it.
It's interesting. And I'll tell you why. Obviously, somebody's going to kick.
I think it's great for the XFL.
They're going to kick it. They're going to kick an onside kick
again. I don't want any more fucking bullshit at the end of the game.
Wait a minute. Sorry. Let me add one thing. This is only in the fourth quarter.
I understand.
Well,
you can try an onside kick at any point during the game. You can only do 4th and 15 in the fourth quarter.
I don't like changing the rules in the NFL for that. I just find that interesting because the bottom line is you're not going to kick an onside kick unless it's towards the end of the game. There's 35 seconds left. If you kick the ball away and the other team gets it back, you lose. So what's the difference if they get the ball at the 25-yard line?
You might try it as a surprise play, maybe towards the end of a half, right? If you want to maybe try and get an extra score.
Sometimes the team just has to fucking lose.
All right.
Here, and one thing on kickoffs I would like to see in the NFL, start on the 20 again. Mm-hmm. If it's a kickback, you start on the 20.
Yeah, I don't like the 25 either. I like the 20.
All right. Well, let me. You're probably going to hate these, but this one to me is the most interesting. Is the XFL kickoff rules, because again they want runbacks, right, but they also want to be safe. So the kicking team lines up on the 35-yard line, 10 guys, and then the guy who's kicking it is back there. Mm-hmm. The receiving team, 10 guys line up on the 30-yard line, and then the guy who's receiving it is back, wherever, by 10 yards or by the end zone or whatever. Nobody moves until the guy catches the ball, except for the kicker and the receiver, or it hits the ground and it lays on the ground for 3 seconds. And then the other 20 guys. I think this is a really great idea. I've watched some footage of it.
I mean, you're going to have the ball cool. at the opponent's 40-yard line every time.
Not if there's got to. Now, I don't know. I haven't watched enough to see what the strategies are and stuff, but it's very interesting because you're avoiding the thing that Paul Brown wanted to measure, which is the 40-yard sprint at full speed and people crashing into each other.
I get that.
They're only 5 yards apart.
I get that.
They're only 5 yards apart.
I get that.
They're not standing at their own 35-yard line.
I got you. Yeah.
They're at the opponent's 35-yard line. The kicking team's
at the 35, the receiving team's at the 30, and the kicker is at the 5, or the receivers.
Yeah,
at the 5.
It's not like they're on their own 35.
No, the most they can do is run into each other from.
It's like a Pee Wee League scrimmage.
Yeah,
I think it's pretty cool. I don't know. I can't imagine it working in the.
It'll never work
in the NFL, but
that is a cool one too.
What I am okay with in the NFL, look, if you want to promote people for running the football out on a kickoff, which there's pros and cons to that, obviously health and safety wise, but for the betterment of the game, I would say then move it back even more. So if you kick it through the end zone, okay, you get the team starts at the 20. If you catch it in the end zone and you don't return it, then you're at the 15. So this whole
but that doesn't mitigate the full speed collisions.
I understand that.
I understand that.
I understand.
All right, let's only two more, I think here. The double forward pass rule.
Double forward pass.
Double forward pass. So you can have two forward passes in the XFL as long as the first one is behind the line of scrimmage.
So it's like a forward pass, but it's technically a lateral
that goes forward.
Well, it's right. So if your quarterback,
so
you
have
the shotgun.
It's like the quarterback is running back 20 yards and then throws a 15 yard.
Right.
Yeah.
They could do that. They could.
You could have two passes from behind the line of scrimmage, but the original one does not have to be technically a lateral, meaning equal to or behind.
Forward. It doesn't have.
It can go forward, but it has to remain if the first one goes in front of the line of scrimmage, that's it.
I'm all right with
that. Regular forward pass.
That's
now,
interesting.
If the first one is dropped, it's an incompletion, not a fumbled lateral.
Okay.
That's the other part of the rule. So I can drop back and then I can throw it forward.
What if it actually is a lateral? What if it's not a forward pass?
Then it's a lateral. Then it's a fumble.
Okay.
Yeah. Then I think the rule stays the same.
Mm-hmm. So you could have you could have two forward passes if the first forward pass does not exceed the line of scrimmage.
Yep. That's kind of a cool rule. I mean, I don't know how you use it outside of a trick play. But at least you don't have to worry about.
Well, it's probably more so going to help you for worrying about a lateral, right?
No, I'll tell you what play comes to mind: screens,
screen passes. Screen passes.
A screen pass when you got a bunch of guys out in front of you. Now the guy can take the ball and heave it. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, right. If everybody's coming this way, you got one guy running on the sideline there, so that could be interesting. All right, this is the one I kind of like this, and probably no one else does. This is the overtime rule. So take the clock out of it. No more, we score this, and then if you score this, then we do it all again. I mean, it's sort of like that, but it simplifies things in my opinion. So each team gets 3 attempts at a 2-point conversion from the 5-yard line. Whoever has more at the end of that wins the game. No kickoffs. No.
This is like we get a shootout in hockey.
Touchdown, you win. We get a touchdown. You get a touchdown. It's tied.
That's exactly what it is. A shootout in hockey. That's what.
And I hate the shootout in hockey.
Mm-hmm.
3 attempts at the 5-yard line. If they're still tied after 3, then we go again. You go again until somebody wins. I think it's great.
It's like college football.
I think it would work.
The game that takes the clock out of the game.
I think it would work.
Overtimes won't last 40 minutes. They go the entire period. They won't last 40 minutes anymore.
I think it would work. I think it would work
over in 15 minutes.
I think it would work after an overtime period. So
the overtime I'll give you that. 1 full overtime, and then you get this bullshit.
Yeah.
So we don't have
I think it would work.
But then you're still stuck with the overtime rules. What do we do with the overtime? So you keep it the way it is now?
Oh, yeah, exactly the way it is now.
The way it is now, and overtime's only 10 minutes now. It's not a 15-minute period. 15-minute period. 15-minute quarter. 15-minute period.
If you're the first team, you kick a field goal, the other team gets the ball back and has a chance. If you score a touchdown, you win. If the game is tied,
that changed in the playoffs.
Right.
It doesn't matter now. Both teams doesn't matter if you score a touchdown, the other team still gets it now.
Right.
They didn't have to use it in the playoffs, but that it changed then. But either way, the same rules apply for 10 minutes. If the game is still tied after 10 minutes, then you do that. So this way you eliminate the ties. There's no more ties.
I like that. I also like the idea of if the first team scores a touchdown, the other team gets the ball, which would have, changed a lot of things. So I like, it's not so much the sudden death touchdown thing. Each team should be able to have the ball at least once in overtime.
Right. And that's what they do. That's what they're saying.
I know. Yeah. But that's not going to be for the regular season. Is it?
I thought they changed it. I thought they started it in the playoffs, and it's going to continue.
Okay, I'm all for that. And then if it's tied after the first overtime, then we could go to this fucking
shootout
bullshit.
3. So there you go. If you score,
so you can watch Jalen Hurts run 3 consecutive 2-point conversions in,
or get pushed if they don't change the rule. Pushed 2 points. 2 points.
Where
2
is it
points. Now
from?
you're good.
Pete? Where are the 2 points from? P 5-yard line or 10-yard line? Where are they from?
5-yard line.
Okay.
So it's a
I mean,
5-yard
college sort of does this.
So, there you go.
Yeah, did they change it since you score and we score? We go again. You score, we score until somebody fails.
In college, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, in the college game.
Yeah, it's you each get a certain amount of attempts, and then after that, it's
Sudden death.
Yeah.
See, this gets rid of the sudden death.
Right.
I don't know. I like it.
Okay.
I like it as a second round of overtime.
Yeah. Use it if the teams are tied after an overtime period. Then do that.
And the first team that's going to go through this is going to be Pittsburgh and Cleveland or something. It seems like it's always Pittsburgh and Cleveland that tie games. The Giants had a tie this year, right?
Giants had ties here.
Giants and the Commanders tied. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. That's about all the big difference. I like the kickoff rule. I like the overtime. I like a lot of these XFL rules.
I think I'd want to see what the results of the kickoffs actually are.
Yeah. So, on that note, I'll probably watch a couple extra XFL games this weekend. So,
yeah, I will say this though: if somebody said, "Hey, you don't run the ball out, or it's a touchback, and if you start on the 15, it's not going to bother me." Yeah. I feel like there's just too much offense in the NFL.
Okay.
It's so easy to score now at the end of the game.
Ugh. It is. So. All right. Well, there you have it.
What was the movie? I forget what movie it was where they were talking about football. They should make it more interesting by having 4 balls and play at once. When you were reading some of those rules, that's what it was reminding me of.
And both offenses and both defenses are on the field at the same time.
It's like, let's make it more interesting by having 3 balls going at once. I can't remember if it was a Will Ferrell movie or something. I can't remember what it was, but it's pretty hilarious.
There you go.
All right, so consensus double forward pass, I think is the only one we all liked, right?
I think I'm all right with that. Yeah, that's kind of interesting.
I'm all right with that. Yeah.
Oh, and well, instant replay is a mixed bag. We agree that you should be able to review anything, but we don't want to review everything.
Well put.
Right.
Well put.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, see, that's the only I like that. I like the fact that
it's like because then you're gonna like
every
play they're gonna listen.
Right, but everything inside of 2 minutes could potentially end up being not everything, but anything controversial inside of 2 minutes can end up being. But it's kind of that way now, right?
It is that way now already.
Last 2 minutes of each half, they review
everything.
Play. It comes to the booth, and your replay and your reviews that you challenge flags or whatever you have mean nothing. It's all in the booth. It's fine.
Right.
So it's that way already.
All right. So some good stuff. We'll see what the NFL does. I don't imagine they'll adopt any of these verbatim, but they might change some. They might modify some stuff. All right. So I think a couple weeks ago, Harry, you left us a little early, and John and I talked about weird Olympic rules.
Oh, wow. I can't believe I missed that.
You did.
Yeah, I know that. Riveting as it was.
The uneven.
So, I forget where we left off, but I'm just going to do a couple of these as we
I love it.
through.
I love it. When are the Olympics again?
Coming up this year, right?
Next, next. It's the winter's next, right? No, the summer's next. Winners were last year. Yeah.
No, is it this year? No, it's next year.
Next year.
Even numbered years. Yeah.
Next year, yeah.
All right.
So 2024.
Yeah, these are just weird little
year and a half
little rules. So I don't remember where we left off, John. So I don't tell me if I said this one before, but not required by track and field athletes to wear shoes. You can run barefoot. If you do wear shoes, there are lots of rules about your shoes, but you don't have to wear them. Actually, wasn't there some movie where they got some guy from like South Africa who was a marathon runner and he hated to wear his shoes? He took off maybe he was a sprinter or something. He took off his shoes in the middle of a race and ended up winning. You remember that?
Vaguely.
Yeah. I mean, it was a fictional thing. I don't think the movie was about him, but
Right. John Goodman played the marathon runner.
He did. That's right.
yeah,
Or was
I
it,
think so.
Or was it Zach Galifianakis?
It was both. It was a relay.
He was the anchor in
That's
every
right.
sense of the word. Athletes are allowed to have endorsements, but they're not allowed to talk about them. It's a big no-no if you mention it. Can't do that.
What's the point then?
Well, at least not during the Olympics. Once the Olympics are over, I think you can say anything you want.
All right, fair enough.
But
I don't know about that. Have we seen Olympic? Yeah, we've seen Olympic athletes.
So here's a question. So if you're endorsing a car, let's say, I don't know, and during the Olympics, there's a commercial that comes on, and it shows you getting into that car, but you don't say anything. Is that allowed?
According to this, okay, they can have endorsements, they get paid. However, during the games, the athletes cannot mention them, and the company can't promote the athletes either.
Okay.
Now, if they show the athletes, maybe no graphics, they might, and no dialogue, they might be able to get away with it.
So really what companies should do is wait till the Olympics are over and only get the winners to endorse their product.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think that's
There you go.
which is kind of what happens anyway.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Although,
Let's see.
now, are the athletes allowed to promote the Olympics?
We'll have to promote the Olympics, just not who their endorsements. Not allowed to promote the car company or Mr. Coffee or whatever.
Mr. Coffee.
What I'm trying to think about, other than like Wheaties,
Well,
what things have Olympic athletes promoted? Like, how many commercials have we seen with Olympic athletes?
Well,
while they're still in the Olympics, is what
it's more overseas too, in Europe and in Asia, but it's also a lot of print advertisement or so watches and jewelry and
so it's like
a brand ambassadors, yes,
holding their skis, in a
Olympic
magazine.
brand ambassadors for champions or whatever sportswear is big, skiing products, golf equipment, things like that. Yeah, whatever.
All right. Male skaters, you might think they can wear tights. They can't. They have to wear pants.
Interesting.
Figure skaters we're talking about?
Yeah. Men's figure skaters have to wear pants, which you might not realize from looking at them, but
yeah.
Women figure skaters must wear skirts. Well, there we go. All right, last one for today.
Now, what's a male or what's a female figure skater? That's
that's I don't know if the Olympics is caught up to gender identity definitions as yet. They might be challenged about that over the next at the next Winter Games, so we'll see. Possibly, probably, definitely the scariest event in the Winter Olympics anyway, the old skeleton. Hey, here's a sled that's about as big as a food tray that you'd get in the cafeteria. We're going to put you on this, and then we're going to send you down the bobsled track.
Yeah, Bjorn Sutton, brand ambassador for funeral homes.
It is not required for skeleton competitors to stay on the sled for their entire run. They will not be disqualified if you fall off.
Interesting.
You can get off the sled. If you fall off, you can push it or move it, get a running start or whatever. Get yourself, as long as you're on the sled when you cross the finish line, it's all good. I don't imagine you'd do very well because if you don't fall off it, your run is obviously going to be faster than, if you do. But
of course,
good to know that at least as long as you get on it by the time you cross the finish line.
I think the same rule holds true in NASCAR. You only have to be in the car for the end of the race.
Yeah, you can push it if you want, but jump in.
One leg
in.
You put your right leg in and push with your left and cross the finish line. That still counts.
That's right. If you get thrown from the car and you can catch up to it as it laps you, then you can dive back in.
So that's it for weird Olympic rules for this segment of the fun show.
Gotta love it.
Absolutely.
So 2024 are the Summer Olympics, and then 2026 are the winter.
Winter, yeah, because there was Winter Olympics a year ago now.
So six. So every
4 years, but it's every other year on the even year. Is
you have one or the other?
Yeah, there's one or the other. Yeah, so it used to be
90 same year.
92 was the last time. Yeah, 92 was the last time
they were in the same year.
They were in the same year.
Interesting.
So next year is
God, and then it seems like they changed that much sooner.
Yeah, 92 there was the Winter Olympics in the winter and the Summer Olympics in the summer, and then 2 years later, 94, there was another Winter Olympics. That was the Lillehammer, if I remember correctly.
Oh, Lillehammer, that was great.
And then 96 was the Summer Olympics, and that was in Atlanta.
That was with the bombing, right?
Yep.
Oh yeah. So it's France next year for the Summer Games, and then Italy for the Winter Games in 2026, and then back to LA in 2028.
Yes, LA's hosted in 2028. Yep. And the
That's
last time,
boy.
and the last time LA hosted,
1986.
No, there was none in 86. That was when they were
84.
84. Yeah, 84, and that was and the Winter Olympics that year were in Sarajevo.
Yes.
I don't know why I remember this shit.
And the Winter Olympics 4 years before that were in
Lake Placid.
There you go.
Or as we used to call it, Lake Plastered.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yes, Lake Placid.
I don't think I watched any of the Olympics the last time they were on.
I watched the Winter Olympics more than I watched the summer, but I do watch some from each. So anyway, there you go.
I'm guessing the U.S. hockey team did not win the gold medal.
They did not. The last time the U.S. hockey team won the gold medal was, what's that year?
1980.
That would be correct.
Now, even the Canadian women's won the women's hockey last year, didn't they? Or last
they did.
Olympics?
I think so. Yeah. So, yeah. All right. Cool. Well, there we go. We have an over-under, do we not?
We do have an over-under.
Pete's box over-under.
And in the spirit of the Harry's favorite kind of ones, although this isn't a plastic container, it's how many of these things are inside of a container.
Well, before we get to that, though, we should let Harry know, because he left the show 2 weeks ago early. He gave us his pick, whether it was over, without even knowing what it was, and won.
Nice.
That's right. What was it, by the way?
It was wall anchors.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Wow.
Right here.
The over under was he still has them in there. The over under was 58.5. Wow. You had said over. I went under, and it was over. It was 60 in there.
And it was 60, right? Yeah. And there are still 60 in there. Now, here's the bad part. I have to count.
You don't know?
No, I know, but I'm going to count them out to prove.
Because
I know no one believes me.
You don't have to count. I believe you.
This is the envelope that I keep stamps and the address labels.
There you go.
Look at you.
You get these from like hospitals and like the Children's Cancer Fund and all Ronald McDonald House. My wife gets mad because I get all these really nice ones and she gets like crappy ones.
There you go.
With your address on them?
Yeah, they have your address and they're like, "Oh, do you want to donate some money?" So like,
so you got to donate money to get them.
No, they send them to you in the mail. And like a long time ago, I gave like $10 to St. Jude's or something. Nice. And now they show up from all over with these.
I don't get any of that stuff. Of course, I haven't sent out a Christmas card in 20 years.
You're a cheap Grinch.
No, I donate to things. It's just,
No, you did. You did record a very good Christmas song back in 1990. So that's why
I didn't get any address placards for it.
There you go.
Well, so I get them every year from, I don't know, wherever.
All right.
So I have them all in this envelope here.
All right.
And we're gonna guess how many sheets of them I have, and I will.
How many sheets?
Yes, because they usually come.
Hold that up. Hold that up one more time.
They come in a sheet.
Hold it up. Hold
This
the
one.
stack up.
See this one?
Is that one sheet?
Yes. So it's not how many labels; it's how many sheets.
So that's one sheet there. Okay.
Yeah, this is now. These are really cool because they also have like the little Christmas present tags.
Why don't we get some Get On With It podcast?
I should maybe
address stickers.
We could do
so
that.
These are obviously Christmas ones, and you have penguins and snowmen and stuff.
Nice.
So,
Very nice. Very nice.
so this is one sheet. This is the pile.
Mm-hmm. All right.
And as I said, I'll count them. We'll do it quickly. The over-under or number of sheets is 13.5.
Wow. That was very close to my guess in my head.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to say, a lot of these, like, I definitely, like, I don't mail anything anymore. You know, I don't. It's only when I have to write a check because somebody doesn't
use them
take
as
electronic payments.
pasties for the podcast and your OnlyFans.
Yeah. I may just start sticking them on things randomly.
Yeah, stick them on one of your kids every once in a while. Remind them where they live.
This one here that I've been showing you, this I think is the most recent one, but I think I've got some in here that I have had for years and just never used.
There you go.
Anyway, so there's the end.
Mm-hmm.
So 13 and a half sheets is the over-under for name and address stickers.
All right.
Who wants to go first? Johnny, why don't you go first?
I'm going under.
Johnny's going under 13 and a half. Now, will Harry go?
You know, my initial guess was 16, so I'm going to go over.
He's going to go over. All right.
16 is what I think it is, but it could be 14.
Well, let's run this down a little bit here. There we go. That's good stuff.
All right.
You look a little pale, Pete.
Oh, come on.
Pete's back in his darkness retreat.
Perfect. You couldn't have gotten any better.
We'll see we'll get the answer next time when Pete comes out of his darkness retreat.
All right, so here we go. Harry's favorite with the counting. Let me get the keyboard out of the way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This one has not a lot left. I've been using this one. This is from I don't know. 8, 9.
No.
10.
That was 7.
No, there was one extra one. Oh God.
1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
There you go.
I was one off.
Harry is on a streak.
Either way.
I'm you, how many things are in a container is your bag.
Yeah, I'm good with visual things.
But can you believe I've got, like, look at this one. I don't know if you can see it. This one's got, like, corn on it.
The band? Oh, no.
Yeah.
Like who?
Brought to you by the Corn Syrup Association of America.
You know, most of these are Christmas. This one is nice. My wife really likes this. One's got little hearts on it.
It looks like one like my mom would send.
This one's got little animals and flowers and stuff.
There you go.
You know, John, that's a good idea to have like some metal Christmas. Have corn. Are you ready for the holidays?
This is the patriotic one. This is my favorite one. I don't know if you can
Dick
see
Cheney's asshole.
See the one right in the top in the center? It's a soldier carrying another soldier.
There you go.
There you go. That's
and
good.
And then like the American flag and stuff.
That's good for like your 4th of July. You know.
This is from the Wounded Warrior Project.
Oh yeah, good project.
Yeah. Oh, this is a nice one.
Much better project than the Alan Parsons project.
This one has the little chicks in a ring of flowers.
Very nice. I don't know what that is, but okay.
This is from American Heart Association.
This is the most old lady thing you've ever.
Long Island Cares. I'm telling you, I've never. This is from St. Jude. This is the one like donation I remember getting, and I've got them from all over the place.
There you go.
That's from St. Jude's. It's insane. But I guess you get on a list, and they're like, "This guy gave money. Send him some stickers."
who do you think is still involved with creating these stickers? It's just
Her.
I assume.
She likes her stickers.
I mean, yeah. But like, who would need? Like I said, there's lots of these I've never touched. Like this has.
Speaking of never touching,
this has 30 stickers on it, of which I've used one.
Does it give you joy?
Hold it. Does it bring you joy?
Only because it bothers my wife that I have so many, and they're all excellent. And hers are like.
There you go.
You know what?
Yeah.
You know what I do want? I want on one of the next podcasts, maybe on. I want a tour of the of Pete's room.
There you go. Well, proof is in the pudding. I've showed the picture before on the show. Where did it go?
You've been there.
Yeah. That's right.
Where the hell did it go?
But I don't think. I think John's blocked out his time here. He's like, I was there, but I can't really remember it. It was so much going on.
Maybe we should get you an extreme room makeover.
It's funny. I've got these wire shelves, and
where's the bathrobe though? There was a weird
there it is.
for a while.
There it is. There it is.
Oh, yeah.
there it is.
There it is.
That's the album cover right there.
That's the album cover right there.
Yeah, the bathrobe is here.
It is.
Oh, here's the.
You should wear the bathrobe. I think that'd be great. We should all wear bathrobes. I don't have
Here's the number. Whoops.
15. So you already counted.
15 here.
No, I did, but I thought it would be more dramatic if I.
You like the counting.
I do.
Well, if there was 84, then I
wasn't going to count the 60.
And John pulled out his challenge flag, so you had to count it twice.
No, I thought he did this. No, seriously, this is what I thought he did. It was like stickers right here. I thought he's just like 1, 2,
8,
3. This 3. This one's really cool. Really 4, 5.
Anything to keep Harry's winning streak alive.
That would have hurt.
Yeah, there's actually 6 of them.
That's right.
I just made it look like 15.
That's right.
Boy, this camera's turning out to be crap.
There you go. I gotta love it.
Oh, great! Now the light's blinking. It doesn't work at all.
Oh, you're back in your darkness.
There we go.
There you go.
Oh no, that's the other one. Great.
That's good. Well, we can end the show with that anyway. So
yeah.
All right.
All right, kiddos.
All right. On that note, we will wrap this show up for today. We want to thank everybody for watching. And for those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thank you for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, www.getonwithitpodcast.com. That's getonwithitpodcast.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Just search for the Get On With It podcast. And of course, all of our shows are available on YouTube as well on the Logger Room channel. Remember, we go live with the video podcast on both Facebook and YouTube every Wednesday night around 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And for those of you who just want to listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music Podcast, and iHeartRadio as well. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one or more of those feeds and you will never miss a show. Again, thanks for following along with us. Have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. And we will talk to you next week, folks. Take care. Cheers.
Bye, everybody.
Top 10 Olympic endorsements next time.
There you go.